Can someone please help me understand this? I am trying to make a sense of what he wrote, but I just can't. Through the tears and fear of losing him, I can't understand any of this. I want to go and check for myself what happened, but I am too scared to take our young son with me. Please, help. I can feel it preying on me. I can hear it pacing around right outside of my bedroom door. I don't know what I did to deserve this. I have so much to live for. My wife and child are back home. Dad, I will never be able to see my son grow, to teach him baseball or football, to teach him how to drive, and hopefully to make him love cars as much as I do, to see him graduate and become such a talented professional that I know he will be. My dear Angela, I am sorry I won't be there for you. I am sorry I won't be there for you when you need me the most. I promised you that we would be together for eternity, and we will be. I will always be watching over you and Tom. I hope you can somehow feel me and forgive me. Please, love our son for both of us. Move on with your life. Find yourself a new partner to cherish happy moments with. Someone good for you and Tom. Good like I was never able to be. Hopefully, you won't forget me, but if you do, that's okay. It won't change my feelings for you. I am sorry I never told you this, but how could I? Would you even be with me if you knew? Would you even believe me? Maybe, I don't know, but that's my burden to carry, and mine only. I am a farmer, and all of the rumors you heard about my family, all of those you shrugged and defended me from those assholes, they are all true. We, indeed, are one of the wealthiest families around, but that came with a price. Many years ago, my great-grandfather, living in misery and poverty, hunger, his children dying from it, he found a way out of it. In one of his jobs as a gardener, he went to a secluded mansion in the middle of the forest. There, he met someone he called his savior. A couple of months after working there, he struck gold. He never told his family how, but he suddenly became filthy rich. But it changed him. He became a mean, cruel man. He would hire desperate immigrants, those who had no family around here, and would treat them like trash. He would constantly starve them, beat them, torture them. He had his little torture chamber hidden underground of his enormous land. So many people died there in horrific ways. As he grew old, little by little, he wasn't capable of doing such horrific things anymore, and it seemed to affect him. The less of a torturer he could be, the more sick and debilitated he became. He had one son left, the only one who survived the famine and poverty, Jeff. Jeff was the opposite of him. Jeff was kind, worked charity at the church, donated food, and built houses for the poor. He had no idea of what his father was, but after his father's death, Jeff became colder and colder as the days passed. The workers at their farm were relieved when his father died, but it didn't last long. Shortly after, Jeff started giving them less and less food. He started hurting them a little here and there, a punch, a kick, but suddenly, the tortures once again resumed. Jeff, my grandfather, had a son, Thomas. My beloved father, Thomas, was nothing like Jeff or my great-grandfather. I grew up on that house with him and Jeff. My mother left us when I was 2 years old. I think I can now understand why. I think you remember, how could you not? What happened last year? My dad, who was caring for my grandfather, killed himself. I couldn't understand why. He was so full of life, so excited to see his grandchildren growing. But he did, and he left Jeff, bedbound, for me to care for. I never liked the man, but I couldn't leave him to die, so we moved to this godforsaken town so we could live near Jeff. Little by little, I was creeped out more and more by him. He would say odd things like it was my destiny to become it, and that was our family's legacy. I thought he was going insane. One day, I was exploring the vast mansion, and I found my dad's room. It was eerie and creepy to see his photos, our photos, just there, gathering dust. I should have been more present in his life after I left for college and work. There, sitting on his bed, was a weird old book. At first glance, I thought nothing of it, but naturally, I was curious. Once I started reading, I noticed it wasn't a book, but rather a diary, one that belonged to my great-grandfather. My great-grandfather made a deal with something he couldn't even name. It granted us a great fortune in exchange for a vessel. What he didn't know was what that meant. You see, when the vessel grows old and is incapable of causing suffering, it craves for a younger one. That's how Jeff became the monster he was, which I only found out reading this kind of diary. It looks like the creature keeps logs of all of his vessel's life. At least he did on my great-grandfather and Jeff's. On the last few pages, the handwriting was different. I recognized it as my father's. Slowly he narrated how, after finding that He would see odd things around the house, a shadow here and there, the book appearing in weird random places, but places where he was, in the kitchen cabinet, when he was reaching for some food, on the bathroom sink when he went for a shower, on his closet, his dresser, and on and on. He would hear random sounds at night outside of his room, like someone was impatiently pacing right outside of his bed. It tried to open the door every night, but it was locked. The thing would never say anything, just pace around, but he knew what he wanted. That's why my dad killed himself, to end the curse, but it didn't end, it just delayed it. Right now, I can hear it pacing around, violently shaking the knob, pounding at the door. It must be very close to death. Jeff's death, I mean, and it needs my body, my mind, my vessel. But I know how to end this, at least I hope so, for the sake of our son. During the day, I soaked the whole house in gasoline. I locked my room, and waited for the thing to come out. I know it can sense what I am about to do, and that must be why it is also impatient. And dare I say, desperate. This is my last email to you, Angela. Please remember me not as a freak, but rather as your loving husband. Tell our best memories to our son so he can grow up knowing the best part of me. That's all I ask. I love you both.